Hello, witches. I am High Priestess Autumn Venus. Thank you for joining me here live, or if you are watching a replay on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and share this live broadcast for any witch who specializes in money spells. Tag some witches who are interested in doing money spells, because this broadcast here live on Instagram is going to help a lot of witches. And I don't say that lightly. I don't say that arrogantly or egotistically. This broadcast is going to help a lot of witches stop doing spells to win the lottery. And then when they do win the lottery, they have all of these problems, big problems. You may have heard that song, More Money, More Problems. That definitely happens when you are a witch who has done a money spell to win the lottery. So if you know a witch or two that has done a spell to win the lottery, or is thinking about doing a spell to win the lottery, they need to hop on this broadcast. If you are watching this broadcast live or the replay on YouTube or Facebook, you need to go ahead right now and get a notebook, notepad, something to write with, and write down everything that I have to say about witches doing money spell to win the lottery. Because, like I just said, it's more money, more problems. I get that question a lot. How come witches don't do money spells to win the lottery? Because it's more problems. When you do a spell and that spell works, it's because Hecate has given you the desires of your heart with no sorrow added on. No sorrow added on. When you do a money spell to win the lottery, there is sorrow added on to it. You don't get that $10 million. You don't get that $20 million. Everybody here, mostly everybody here knows you have to pay taxes. You have to pay the IRS. They will get their money from you. Oh, no, they won't. They will get their money from you. They will take it from you. If you have any credit card debt, they will take your money from you. If you owe the hospital any money for any bills they have sent to you and you claim, oh, I never went to the hospital, they will get their money to you. That's sorrow added on. But when you do a money spell with Hecate, the queen of witches, adding her strength to your own efforts, there is no sorrow added on. It's risky to do a money spell to win the lottery. That is one of the biggest risks you can take as a witch, because it will not happen the way that you want it to. It's not going to get to the sum of money that you were promised. You have to pay these people. That's sorrow added onto it. Hecate can make you a millionaire overnight. Hecate can absolutely make you a millionaire, a billionaire overnight. She can, because she is the queen of witches. Did you know that Hecate is a witch? She is one of us. That's why she is so familiar to us. That's why every time we look in a mirror or anything that reflects our face, we are also seeing her within ourselves. Some people don't know that Hecate is a witch. She is a high priestess. She is the queen of witches, but she is also a witch. When Hecate gives you something, it is with no sorrow added on. No sorrow, no debt, no paying the IRS, no paying hospital bills. Oh, you think you won $20 million from the lottery. No, you didn't. More than half of that money has to be given to other institutions, to the bank, to the the loan officer. Oh yes, the loan officer, you may have been desperate for money. You have to pay the loan officer. You have to pay off any bills from maybe family members that predeceased you. Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. We're going there tonight. We're going there tonight. It's hard to do money spells to win the lottery because there was no real effort. There was no real world action taken by you. All you did was tell the man at the bodega what numbers you wanted to punch in. All you did was scratch off a piece of paper, or maybe you played the lottery online. That's not real world action. When you are a witch and you want your spell to work, you have to be better than everybody else. You have to be more hungry than everybody else. You have to be starving. You have to want it more than your competitors. If you want it more, whatever it is, more than your competitors, you have to work twice as hard. When you are a witch, you go beyond the normal. You go to the supernatural. You go to the supernatural when you work alongside Hecate to add her strength to your own efforts. It's not enough to just scratch a piece of paper. It's not enough to just go to the bodega and have the guy behind a register punch in some numbers. You have to actually do something. Many people win the lottery, witch or not a witch, and they have all these people coming to collect. And they will collect. You can't leave the country. You will be collected, okay? You can leave the planet. It's the money that you owe will be collected. It's a gamble. That's why it's called gambling. It's hard to pull those types of spells or spells to win the lottery. That's why when a witch asks me, can I do a spell to make him or her win the lottery, I say no. Because the odds are not in the witch's favor. The witch is not doing real world action. The witch is not putting in actual effort. Real effort. They're not hungry enough for that $10 million they want from the lottery. They're not. So they're not going to get it. Witches do spells that are most likely to succeed. Witches do spells in which they can do real world action to make that spell come to fruition. A witch would never do a spell to be able to fly or to become invisible, because that's not possible. Even witches, listen very carefully, even witches cannot defy the laws of nature. Even though witches work with the energy found in nature to bring about real significant and permanently positive change. Even witches, no one can defy the laws of nature. You cannot do a spell to fly. You cannot do a spell to become invisible. You cannot successfully pull off a spell to win the lottery. Those spells don't work. They never work. They never work. You may be happy and elated and so full of joy. You might be crying tears of joy that finally that money spell worked and you won the lottery. Oh, you won the lottery? Okay, now you got letters coming in from the IRS. Now the money is being withheld from you until you pay those people. So instead of winning $10 million, you have $100,000. That's nothing. That's chump change. You can't do anything with $100,000. That's like $10. That's like 50 cents. Or you might be saying, oh, well, I can do a lot with $100,000. Can you really? Can you move to where I'm at in New York and live a comfortable, prosperous, abundant life with $100,000 when you originally started out with $10 million? No, you can't do it in a place like New York. New York is way too expensive. It's not going to happen. The best thing that you can do in a replacement of doing a spell to win the lottery is to ask Hecate. Have a conversation with Hecate. What type of money spell can I do that you will add your strength to my own efforts and will be successful? You have to ask Hecate the type of money spell that you need to do, because doing a spell to win the lottery is not going to work. It cannot work. It will never work. You know how many people go into debt buying lottery tickets, going to the bodega to have some guy punching some numbers, and they have no money to pay their actual real life bills because they just finished giving someone money to play Win for Life, or what else they got? I think they have some lottery tickets that have bingo now. No, you don't do that. You do not do that. You ask Hecate, what type of money spell can I do that will make it successful with you adding your strength to my own efforts with no sorrow added on to it. When your money spells work, no sorrow will be added on to it because Hecate helped you with that spell. There is no debt. There is no one you have to pay off, because Hecate will give you more than enough money to pay it off and still have a large, very large sum of money to enjoy. But if you don't ask Hecate, you will be in this continuous loop of gambling. Some witches are addicted to gambling, doing money spells every day, every week to win the lottery. That's not how Hecate works. Hecate will help you. She will. Of course she will. But you have to make real world effort. You have to do something. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You have to do something. Would you rather have no sorrow, or would you have the IRS, the hospital, the debt collectors, the loan officers up your ass? I personally would have no sorrow added on to it. Because it's true what they say. More money, more problems. But that should only be true for people who are not witches. If you are a witch, you should never get to that point where you're saying more money, more problems. Because if you worked alongside Hecate, she would add no sorrow, no pain, no misery, no despair, no, oh, I have to pay this bill. Oh, my light just went out. My stupid light just went out. So let's continue. No, I can't make it this month. I can't pay it this month. I don't have money this month. You will never hear a witch say that. You will never hear a witch say that. If they worked alongside the queen of witches, Hecate, and she added her strength to their own efforts, it's better to have no sorrow added onto the spell than to have to every day, every week, play the lottery and you never win. You have a better chance of getting hit by lightning than you do winning the lottery. That's true. That's not a cliche. That's not a old wives' tale. That's true. You have better luck getting struck by lightning than you do winning the lottery. More problem. I gotta say this right. I don't know why I keep messing this up. Okay, listen. More money, more problems is for people who are not witches, for people who don't do witchcraft. Witches say Hecate gives me the desires of my heart and adds no sorrow onto it. It's just perfect. Perfect love, perfect trust. Perfect love, perfect trust. With no sorrow added on to it. You won't have to struggle every month when the bills come in. You won't have to make ends meet. You don't have to worry about where you're going to get your next meal from. You don't have to find yourself on government assistance. You don't have to find yourself on a soup line. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff, because you will always have, with Hecate, you will always have a full belly and a fat wallet or purse. With Hecate, you will always have a full belly and a fat wallet or purse, with no sorrow added on to it. But if you choose to go down the other side of the crossroads where you met Hecate, there is nothing waiting there for you but debt, but misery, but unhappiness, but sorrow, 10 times more sorrow if you had never played the lottery at all. If you would not have bought that lottery ticket, if you would not have went to play bingo with the girls, if you would not have gone to the bodega to, punch your numbers in. But some witches do, though. That's unfortunate. Some witches do, though. Some witches do that. They add sorrow, unnecessary sorrow, to their own life. To their own life. That's unfortunate. That is so unfortunate. But as witches, we all have to make a choice. You are either going to be the witch that has real significant and permanently positive change, or you're going to be the witch that owes the IRS money, that owes the hospital money, that owes every Peter, Dick, John money, with all of this sorrow onto it. Every witch has to make a choice. To you witches who do money spell to win the lottery every day, every week, and it's not working, that's your sign to stop. Stop now. You have a gambling problem that can only be solved by going to the Queen of Witches and asking her to pull that spirit of gambling, pull that spirit of addiction out of you, so she can take her torch that she's famous for and burn it up. If you want to stop being addicted, if you want to stop having a gambling problem. You see, when you do a spell, you have to want it. You have to see yourself already having that thing or being that person. You have to want it. If you have no real desire to do real world action, then Hecate is not going to match your efforts because you don't want it bad enough anyway. That's unfortunate for some witches. That's unfortunate for a lot of witches. But some witches are like that. They shouldn't be. More money, more problems should only be reserved for people who are not witches. Witches can do a money spell, any type of money spell, with no help from the lottery. And Hecate, like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, can make them a millionaire, can make them a multi-billionaire overnight. Why? Because she is the queen of witches. That's why. When you really take hold of that truth, of how mighty Hecate is in the land, how powerful she is, how much of a powerhouse she is, the rest of the world, the current climate right now, what's happening in the world right now, finally makes sense. Finally makes sense. So I wanted to come on here and talk about this, and I believe I covered everything. I believe I helped set some witches straight when it comes to money spells, especially doing money spells to win the lottery, which do not work. It doesn't matter who you are. Think about your favorite celebrity or favorite politician. If they were to do a money spell to win the lottery, guess what? The IRS would also be after them. It would be after everybody. Just because you are famous or a celebrity or a famous politician, it doesn't mean that you are exempt from paying taxes. We know that there are only two things that are certain in this lifetime. What is that? What are two things that are certain in this lifetime? Death and taxes. Only death and taxes are certain. Only death and taxes are certain. Both will happen to me and you. So I'm pretty sure, I'm quite proud of myself for coming on here, broadcasting live, or if you're watching a replay on YouTube or Facebook, on this controversial topic. Because many witches think they can do a money spell to win the lottery, and when it doesn't work out, they're mad and sad and go as far as accusing the high priest or accusing the high priestess of being a fraud. No. Let me tell you something. No real high priest or high priestess would ever agree to do a money spell for you to win the lottery. That's not a high priest. That's not a high priestess. That's a scam artist. Those spells don't work. Money spells to win the lottery do not work ever. If a high priest or a high priestess has lied to you about them being able to help you win the lottery, they have to answer to Hecate. And the answer comes quickly. It comes quickly when Saturn is in retrograde. Saturn right now, the planet of karma, is in retrograde until November 15th in the sign of Scorpio. So let that sink in. Let that sink in. Saturn, the planet of karma, is retrograde until November 15th when it is Scorpio season. The reason why I bring that up is because I'm a Scorpio, and Scorpio, some Scorpios, not all Scorpios, are known for getting revenge. Like, I'm the type of Scorpio that believes in revenge. I do not believe that guilty people should go free. Okay? I believe that guilty people should be punished. I believe that some guilty people should be hurt. I'm not afraid to admit that live because that's how I feel as a Scorpio. You know, I'm a Scorpio. I come on strong. Sometimes I can come off as a little bit intimidating. I have a strong personality, but this is who and what I am. Okay? So if you are a high priest or high priestess that has told someone that you can do a money spell to help them win the lottery, you're a liar. You're a cheat. And Hecate will take care of you. It's not a threat. I've seen her do it. I've seen what happens to fake high priests and fake high priestesses helping other people in her good name. It's always the world being dropped on their head. Always. Always. Lots of people come in the name of Hecate, but they were not sent by Hecate. They have not been anointed and appointed by the Queen of Witches. They are just talking out of their ass. So stop it. Stop it. If you call yourself a high priest or high priestess and you are promising people to win the lottery after doing a money spell for them, you are going down. You're finished. Hecate is not going to let you hurt her children, hurt her followers, hurt her devotees, and then go on your merry way. There is no going on your merry way. There is no, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. She don't want to hear that. She don't want to hear that. She don't. That doesn't mean, it means nothing to her. It means nothing to her. You are still a liar, you are still a thief, and you still will be punished soon. Why soon? Because Saturn, the planet of karma, is currently retrograde until November 15th during the time of the season of the Scorpio. I see it. I've been shown dreams and visions of high priests and high priestesses scamming people out of their money because they actually believe that they can do a money spell to win the lottery, and they cannot. Hecate gives you something with no sorrow added on. None. So I believe I said everything I needed to right now about money spells and playing lottery. So be sure to share this broadcast on your other social media platforms. Once again, my name is High Priestess or Venus. Tell a witch or two or three or more that there is a high priestess here in New York who is anointed and appointed by the Queen of Witches to be a voice for witches who have ears to hear and hands to receive Hecate's best. With that being said, I now release you into your evening. Bye, everyone.